all of the used ammo on your sheet. So if anybody wants that stuff, that's available. And then there was 100 silver between almost dozen of the goblins. What's up, man?
He's going to go around and
buddy.
pluck some eyeballs out and cut a few goblin tongues out, and he's going to head up to Dagrich. Here, these for John.
It's so hot.
I'm sure he'll approve of it. Thank you.
It's still like 80 plus degrees in my house, and it's almost midnight. My AC went out today.
I telepathically sent a message to Jot, had him come hang out with me for a second. I got a present for him.
Fix it. Because I'm selling the house anyway, so no need to.
I hand him the items that were given to me by Zeus and say, here you go, man.
So, Bartlin, as you're looking around, the only thing that you see is there's some strewn rubble. There's nothing on the walls, nothing like that. It's basically just an empty room. John, okay. Thanks for the follow. Except for the fissure that's in the back of the room where you guys came from.
Does that fissure look like it was naturally just collapsed, or was it like broken or damaged?
It looks like it's part of that. Back when you guys actually entered the tear where that rift is, it looks like this whole place was slid over about 20 feet. Because remember, nothing lined up and everything was kind of shifted to the northeast about 20 feet. You know, the halls just didn't line up anymore. So that's pretty much how this fissure opened up on the south wall.
All right.
But you got all the money, and you got all of the. If anybody wants anybody want a scimitar or a short bow?
I'm good.
Okay. Too bad you didn't have a bag of holding. You could throw all that stuff in there and then sell it for half. All right, adventurers, what do you guys want to do? You've got an open stone door on the northern wall, which is where all the goblins came from. Hint, hint. Plus, you know, Jot has sent you a little bit of a telepathic message when he was scouting ahead of Yadag for you. Yes, Elias, what would you like to do?
I'm going to peek into that open door on the other side of that room.
Okay, so let me go ahead and open this up as you come outside. Barlin's light. Now, see, Barlin's out here now, so that's a good thing. So this is pretty much what you see. So this is actually a huge 20-foot wide chamber, and this thing is like 80 feet long. And there are 2 rows of these marble columns, and they're like carved dragons, kind of, you know, winding their way around each pillar. And there's all kinds of fungus that is accumulating on these pillars. The floor is cobbled. It's got all kinds of cracks, you know, from all the time, probably even because of the damage, residual damage from the fissure that happened. All kinds of blood stains. And you think they may be blood stains. They are kind of reddish. And then there's all kinds of these small wooden tables. And there's all kinds of different contents, like mortars, pestles, all kinds of small tools. There's a couple bowls filled with like a crushed leaf, because there's small little piles of leaves. There's small piles of mushroom. So it looks like there's a bunch of crushed stalks as well. And all kinds of other plant specimens. And then there's some also hanging on the walls as well. And then you can see that there are 5 other doors, 6 including a door on the very western side of this room, which kind of narrows to a hallway. So you're thinking this room goes to somewhere else. But then you kind of put 2 and 2 together because I know you guys are mapping this place. And this is probably the door that you heard the goblins. Putting 2 and 2 together, of course. So what say you, adventurers?
I'm going to systematically examine these pillars with the dragon etching on them and see if there's any draconic messages or anything I can read. I'm just obsessed with information, knowledge.
It doesn't seem like there's any kind of information out here. Not on the walls. But there's all kinds of leaves and whatnot. I mean, you could possibly give me maybe a nature check by looking around at the contents that are on these tables. And also, if anybody wants to do an investigation check by kind of checking this place out, you can do that too. Glow, thank you so much for the follow.
A nature check?
Yes, sir. So basically these are all kinds of leaves from like trees and shrubs and fungus from the area. And it looks like they're base components to make different remedies like healing potions and stuff. Doesn't seem like there's any core components, but there's a lot of base components.
I want to collect all those and put those in my pouch.
Sure. Well, as you're kind of looking around, you actually find enough ingredients, and then you're like, okay. So if you have a healer's kit, there's enough here to go back up to 10 charges on your healing kit, which is pretty cool. Or if somebody doesn't have a healing kit, you can have a healing kit with 10 charges. And then there's also an alchemist supply kit and an herbalism kit too, which is pretty cool.
Hey, I want to take both of those.
Okay.
Zizi's going to start clearing off all this fungus from these dragon pillars to reveal the glory of all the dragons.
I'm going to give you all this. You said you wanted the alchemist kit, the herbalism kit.
I want to take a look at the first door I see down
kit
here to the south from where I'm standing.
All right.
Just curious, how do you rotate your token?
With the mouse wheel. Just hover over it and mouse wheel. All right, Dag, you wanted to come and check out this south central room here?
Yep.
All right. So this is actually a weird room as you kind of get a glance inside. And you guys can actually see a lot of footprints around too, because, you know, with all of the fungus residue on the floor and residue from all of the crushed herbs and plants and stuff, there's all kinds of footprints, all goblin size, of course. Now in South Central Chamber, there is a sort of like a medical type of table, maybe a surgeon's table, and there is a huge rat. This thing is almost as big as you are, Dag. And this thing is strapped down on the table. It's spread eagle. And it looks like it has all kinds of these nasty, horrible, multicolor tumors that are hanging off of its body. They almost look like grapes and whatnot, almost like fruit. Looks actually rather disgusting. Now give me a perception check also, because that goblin has kind of caught your attention, Dag. Yeah, you're just enamored. You're enamored with that rat. But there is there's a stand on the other side of the room. You kind of, you saw it in your peripheral vision.
Well, I see that the rat's kind of tied down. I know I can come back to him. I do see that other thing in the corner, though, and it does catch my attention just a little bit. So I do want to go inspect that real quick.
All right. So you kind of shake the rat out of your head, right? And you walk over to that stand, and on the stand that's in the corner of the room, there is a fancy crystal vial, and it contains an elixir.
Arcana check.
Okay.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Next time any roll like that, make sure you put that in a dice tower. It definitely doesn't look like it's anything that you've seen before, but it does have a very sour aroma. A very tangy, sour, dainty type of aroma. It stings the nostrils.
Is there a cork nearby I can put in the top of it?
Yeah, there's a cork that you pulled off.
I'm going to put the cork back in and put it back in my I'm going to put it in my pouch so I can carry it with me.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to inspecting the rat because it's very curious. I'm assuming, based on what I'm seeing here, that the fluid that's in his vial came from this rat.
Yeah, it's going to be an unidentified item on there for you. It's just going to be labeled as a... actually, you've got a potion of healing. And I think this is on your sheet as something that's unidentified. So let's see. I don't see it on your sheet. Okay, it's vile. And it does smell vile, actually. It's identified. So you'll be able to find out what it is later, I'm sure. So.
Okay.
Of course, now that you guys have an alchemist kit and stuff like that, maybe there would be some type of information in the book. However, it would be good if you were proficient with that kit as well, if you know what I mean. All right. So what else, adventurers?
Does this rat... I mean, do these little pustule things on it, they're multicolored, you said, right?
Yeah, that has a clearish pus kind of leaking out of them.
The rat's still alive?
Because I use fantasy grounds. No, the rat is definitely dead.
I'm going to take note of it and move on to the next room.
Yeah, if you play any of my games, all you have to have is a demo.
At the same time, I understand we're kind of in a hurry.
Nope, you guys are not in a hurry. I don't want you to feel like you need to rush. You guys take your time and play at the pace you guys want to play.
Oh, no. I'm talking about moving along through here. We're not trying to linger. I'm not wanting to stay in this citadel much longer.
Yeah.
I call out to the Gretch and say, hey, what you find in there?
Found this vial. I'm going to hand it over to Barla and have him look at it. Does this seem like anything you recognize?
Are you proficient with herbalism or alchemy or anything like that?
I get half proficiency as a bard.
Okay. Give me a nature check. I think that would probably fall with wisdom and nature, which is to your advantage because you are actually pretty skilled with that. So yeah, this is a pretty toxic. You know, you pull the cork off, you smell it, quite pungent, stings the nostrils. You can tell that this is a disease that someone could probably catch. It's definitely a disease that can be cured, but it looks like it will literally take the life from you. Basically, out of character, it's going to decrease your maximum hit points every hour until you get it cured. And then if you have that disease and if you don't get it cured and your maximum hit points are taken down to 0, then you die. That's how this disease works. But you remember this in
So could we like poison
Acolyte
a
school.
weapon and attack somebody?
uh
Or would they
Possibly.
have to like imbue it, like put it in somebody's food or drink?
Yeah, this is there's different types of poison in 5e. This is one of those diseases that has to be consumed, as in like you drink it or put it on food or something like that. But yeah, this could definitely work to your advantage. So I'll go ahead and I'll identify it for you, and it's now it's the fancy crystal vial, and then I'll put disease on it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll inform the Gretsch exactly what this is, and he needs to be extremely careful with this.
Yeah, pretty nice find though.
Thanks. I want
Yeah.
to move down and take a look at this next room too, because I'm thinking that if I found that in there, what's in the next room?
Okay, so I'll get to you in just a second. So Elias, you're looking here at the northeast chamber, and basically there's more arrows in here, more scimitars, more short bows, all that good stuff. So it's basically like an armory.
Armory.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. What about Zeus? Zeus? Oh, yep. Go ahead,
He's
Elias.
just cleaning off these pillars.
You're just gonna
I'm
what?
saying to
I'm cleaning all the fungus off the pillars with the dragons on.
Okay. Oh yeah, you would do that, especially being a kobold, worshiping dragons and whatnot. Sorry about that, Elias.
No, I'm just letting anybody know that if they find a short sword, I would really like one.
well, maybe you have to look in here. It was an armory.
Can you use a scimitar? There's plenty of scimitars if you want one of those, if you're proficient. I'm not
Only
too sure if
it would have to be a simple
simple.
weapon.
Yeah, I figured the scimitar was probably martial. So you're scraping all of this fungus off of these, and you're starting to cough quite a bit. And you're starting to get this fungus all over yourself. So I'm going to come back to you, Zeus. Now this chamber down here in the southwestern corner of this laboratory, it's a big wooden pit. It looks like a big wooden, like, round trough that's in this room. It's actually dominating the entire center. And you can see all of these, it looks like pieces of wood on the floor. Why don't you give me a perception check? Or no, give me an investigation, Dag. That's going to benefit you. Well, I don't know, your charisma, so. Yeah, that's a nice roll. Looks like these are a bunch of grape stems. Because inside of that wooden bathtub, that giant wooden bathtub, it looks like there's a bunch of mashed grapes and mushrooms mixed in and other roots and whatnot. Looks like they're making something in here. But it smells kind of horrible. All those rotten fruits and whatnot.
Not to mention the goblin feet that had to be used to smash all the grapes.
There's a couple of like wooden mashers, and there's also some strainers that are hanging up on the walls and whatnot. Looks like it's some kind of like casking facility for making wine, or you know how goblin wine is pretty shitty anyway. So Sly, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it.
I'm going to take one of the strainers and move it through the muck in the bottom of that pit and see if there's anything else in there.
Sure. Yeah, whenever you walk around to this side, there's 2 1-gallon containers that has triple X's on it, and you pop the cork, and it smells like goblin wine. And you know, goblin wine is actually served in taverns as well. And it's just called goblin wine. And it smells and tastes pretty horrible. But some people like it. It's cheap. and it'll get you messed up. Which to some people, that's all that matters. But there's 2 gallons of it. 2 1-gallon, like a clay pottery type of container. Of course, nice big thick corks on them. Quite pungent. And in this, it's got all that mash in it too. So they've been making a bunch of this stuff. Yeah, if you guys get
there, right?
That's all you see. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab those 2 jugs, walk out of the room, and say, "Hey, anybody thirsty?"
Z
What's
probably
in
love
it?
that shit. If you guys buy Fantasy Grounds, make sure you put David
Ooh, maybe that
32780
goes
in there
fungus.
as a referrer.
Ooh.
Smells like goblin wine to me, guys.
If you guys buy it, I don't get anything for it,
No.
but it just tells Fantasy Grounds, "Hey, I got it because of Dave or whoever."
Hey, Jot, you thirsty?
David 32780. That's the referrer.
Hey, Dave, I want to see. You said there were a bunch of footprints on the ground. Can I do an investigation check to see if I notice any human footprints?
That is awesome, Barlin. In fact, I'm going to give you an inspiration for that, which if you want to give it to someone else, you can. If you want to keep it, or you can give it away. Jot is a quasit, Zovia. He's a familiar. So give
I'm
me
going
a...
to give it away later.
Yeah, give me an investigation. Yeah, you can see a set of humanoid type of footprints. In fact, you can see a couple of them.
Investigation.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you did, but that was Dag's roll. You hit DC 10. So yeah, you can see a couple of humanoid footprints mixed in. Of course, it looks like they were there prior to the goblins, because you can see several kind of goblin tracks that are pressed down on top of the humanoid prints. Jot, give me a Constitution I'm sorry about that. Zeus, give me a Constitution saving throw. Now do what now, Harlan?
Is it the same
He's so lucky.
humanoid, or is it multiple humanoids?
Looks like a couple of different. One looks like there is a hard boot, and one looks like a plate boot.
Okay. I bring that to the attention of Elias and the rest of the group. That appears that we
I'm so
seem to be
hot.
tracking the lost party.
Ugh.
There's some plate mail boots and another hard boot. Only thing missing is some kind of a soft boot, but that could have been covered up by some of the goblin tracks.
I'm moving towards the middle room on the side I am.
All right. Zeus, you start to feel like you're going to throw up, and you get the cold sweats. But you've encountered this before, and you shake it off. Nice Constitution saving throw. Next time you do a con saving throw, throw that in a tower for me too. Nah, no problem though. But yeah, you're starting to get a little dry heaves and stuff as you're breathing in all of this yellow mold that you're scraping off of the dragon pillars. Feel sick for a second, but then you kind of overcome it. All right, so the next room for you, Elias, as you're peeking in. Let's see. So basically, this looks like there is a bunch of shoddy looking leather armor that looks like an armory, basically. Something that the goblins would use in repair armor. A bunch of cord, iron needles, rusty iron needles, that is. A bunch of leather patches and panels that you would repair armor with. A bunch of other crude implements of tailoring.
Yeah, looks like they were repairing their armor in there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you could even salvage anything. It doesn't even look that it would even really fix any of your armor if it was needing repaired.
It's not worth anything.
All right, Dag. So as you look into this last chamber, this looks like a barracks. You can see that there's 16 of these rat-infested, flea-infested bunks. There's a couple of bunk beds. There's a couple of, I guess you could say, sleeping bags that are on the floor. A couple of blankets. You can just feel the fleas jumping on top of you. I'm kidding,
Yeah,
by
but
the way.
I'm starting to stitch. I'm starting to scratch everywhere right now.
Yeah, there's all kinds of hair, and it just in the corners it looks like they've got little poop buckets to where they're pooping and peeing in the corner of the room. At least they're peeing and pooping in the buckets, so
Typical goblins.
yeah.
I don't see anything special in here. Do I? Do I see any gold or anything like that?
If are you at first glance? No, just kind of glancing around the room now.
I do want to do an investigation in the room.
Give me an investigation check as you're going through this stinky, goblin-infested bunks and these sleeping bags and bedrolls. Nice roll, because you do find another bag, and inside of the, in fact, you find several bags. You find almost a dozen bags that have about 300 more silver inside of these bags. It's actually quite a bit of silver.
I'll go out and distribute it amongst the group.
Okay.
Look what I found.
So everybody gets 80 silver. That's from the 300 and then the 100 that were on the dead bodies. And you can open up the party sheet and go to the inventory tab, and if there's anything there that you like, you can just take it right off of the party sheet and drag and drop it onto your inventory on your character sheet. And if you do that, it will disappear out of the inventory on the party sheet. Pretty cool. So this is all of the party stuff, and you guys help yourself to it. I see that stuff disappearing already. I love it. Help yourself, guys. There's some elixirs, some antitoxins, some potions, some scrolls. Yeah, quite a bit.
Out of Dave, I'm not going to take anything because I don't know what that guy wants. Out of fear.
You can go for it. I'm also going to give you guys some XP too. Not much, but you get a little bit. That was for like 4 encounters. So now, however, I will tell you this, Elias, in that small, the armory that was in the northeast corner, there was also another door on the eastern wall. So there's the door to the east in the northeastern chamber, and then there's the door that's in the 10-foot hallway
I
here
missed that door.
on the western wall.
Hey, Z's, how are you feeling? You needed some healing?
Z's almost done. Little queasy, but I am strong. I power through.
In that on the other side, there's also a door in that first room I looked into. Say to the west.
Ooh.
Z's all done. Behold, glory of the gods.
It did
Good
mess
job,
you up a
Z's.
little bit, but you were able to recover.
So, Dave, you said there were scimitars, a short bow, and a bunch of arrows in this armory?
Yeah, definitely. There's enough arrows for everybody to resupply their arrows, refill your quivers. Whew.
gonna check
80
out this
85
door,
degrees
this
in my
locked
house.
door.
Sweating my balls off. You give the door a cursory glance, and it doesn't appear to be locked. It doesn't even appear to have any kind of like locking mechanism on the door itself. And you open the door, and there's a 10 by 10 room on the other side. And on the eastern wall, there's another door.
There is a little room in here, and then there is another door. Shall I go check it out?
Proceed with caution.
I go in and check out the other door. Cautious.
All right. So just before you enter the room, Elias, you notice that the floor looks like it's going to cave in. And just as you are fixing to take your step, you're like, oh crap, I don't need to do that. Looks like you've seen this before, being an expert trap detector, one with traps. This is probably a pit. Of course, you can't see what's in the pit. You don't know if there's spikes on the bottom, if it's a pool of acid, if there's gators in there, if it's a pit of vipers, if it's the entry chamber of a wood chipper. You have no clue what it is.
Rocket gator.
Yeah.
Guys.
But it looks like it's the 5
I
foot.
want to go into this room.
Yeah,
Look
it's
like
the
there's a bit underneath it.
it's the 5 foot panel that's in front of you. The 5 foot section of floor.
So the first 5 foot is bad, and then it's solid.
Yorha, it's Fantasy Grounds. Fantasy Grounds. So you can see that there are, especially with all of the dust in here, Elias, you can see that there are some footprints that are not on the 5 foot section of floor in front of you, but it looks like the goblins were jumping over the 5 foot section.
I'm gonna jump over the 5 foot.
So this is basically the square that is affected. So sure, you want to get a running jump? Go for it. Just give me an athletics check. And if you're not proficient, just give me a strength check. Yorha, welcome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it, Yorha. Oh my gosh, great roll. That's a crit. So yeah, you basically jump over and land on the other side. Nice. Everybody gets 10
I
experience
jump
points
over,
too.
almost smashing into the door.
Yeah, you jumped so good you almost smashed into the door face first.
Whoa, this was a little bit too hard. Too big of a jump I made.
Oh,
I'm gonna check out this door.
I almost goofed up. I almost gave everybody 200. Wow, I just did an add point all 209. I goofed up and hit the 9 too, but I did the wrong command. I forgot to add an S on the end. I almost gave everybody 209, which I would have been cool with that, but almost.
That would be very nice.
Maybe I might on the next crit, if we get another crit, maybe I might do another one. And maybe goof up and actually really give 209.
So Dave, I check on the door over here.
Sure. Same thing. And it looks like Fox of Fury. He's bought another perk for you guys. He's bought a 1 hour break. So you guys get another 1 hour break.
Thank you.
Compliments
Thank
of
you, folks.
Fox of Fury. Ah, very nice. Another door. You open it up. This is what you see, Lord. You see a room that is literally wall to wall. Nothing but fungus all over the walls, all over the ceiling, all over the door, all over the floors. It looks like some kind of fungus garden or fungus gallery, because there's all this beautiful luminescent glowing fungus all over the place. Ceilings, walls, on clumps, single mushrooms, all over the place. And it actually dimly lights this entire chamber.
So I see a little bit into it without having to have a light or so.
Looks like it's about half of the chamber is covered in all of this fungus.
I say to the rest of the party, I say, there is like a hole in here with fungus growing. Look like a fungus garden to me. But if you come into this room where I'm now, watch those first 5 feet.
I'll make the jump.
And I move just inside the door to make room for someone who's jumping.
Sure. All right, Zeus, you're able to jump over the pit, no problem at all. And you see the chamber actually extends down about 100, probably almost 100 feet, if not more than 100 feet, Elias. And it goes to the south. And then it looks like the room actually kind of opens to the east and the west also. And as you enter the chamber, give me a perception check, please. As you're kind of looking around, and it's actually a beautiful sight. It really is. He rolled a 1. Followed up such a great roll with a shitty roll.
Gave you the perception check, Dave.
Yep. Yeah, you just are enamored with the beauty of what this chamber looks like.
What do you see, Elias?
Barlow, how are you getting into the room? You jumping across?
A lot of fungus around here.
We're going to just try to grab the edge of the door and just swing over the side of it into...
Very good. I will definitely allow that.
From there to there.
Yeah, sure. You're careful. You're using the door to hold on, so it's not like you're going to need to do any kind of check anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing because my athletics and acrobatics are absolutely horrible.
All right. Garkin says, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and be a tough guy, and as soon as you guys get out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and jump. You know I got to do it. All right, so Barlin, as you're moving into the room, you can actually, because I know that you're going to be looking around for any kind of inscriptions, any kind of art, and there are some carvings that they're faded out, but at one time they probably would have looked absolutely beautiful. And these carvings are of dragons. Snowy Wolf, thanks for the follow. And you can see several different dragons. You can see a dragon shooting what appears to be flame. You can also see one that's shooting this, looks like a venom, because it has a lot of like venom dripping from the actual main stream of acid or poison that it's actually ejecting out of its mouth. You can see sort of like a frosty cold breath dragon, because you can also see some dwarves that are kind of frozen in ice blocks. So at one time this would have been beautiful. And Barlin and Dag, why don't you guys give me perception checks in the tower as well? And you can see, Dag, that this room kind of opens up, and you can see a door on the eastern side, kind of where you're at. I'm sending a tell to Barlin.
So that would be the paintings and stuff would be chromatic dragons in.
Correct. That is correct. Thank you, Nikki. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. DJ whatever.
Got a perception check.
Whatever.
Which direction
Yep.
is that coming from?
From the east.
Oops.
I hold my hand up and put my fist up in the air and tell everybody to stop.
And that happens just as you get here, Dag. And also, let's see. Zeus, let's see. You're in the room now. Nothing for you there, Zeus. Next time, put that in the tower for me, bud.
What's the tower exactly?
Lower right-hand corner. Dice tower. What the dice
Yeah,
tower
the
does
castle.
is the little castle
Oh.
icon. Yeah, what it does is when it rolls, you'll see the shadow of the dice going out, but you won't see the results of the roll. Only the dungeon master does. I like it.
Ah, okay, sorry.
Gypsy, thanks for the follow. Oh, dude, I'm not
Another
even worried
stick
about
to
it.
add to my monitor.
If you do that, yeah, you guys should use the scale UI command. I'm telling you, /scale UI space. Depending on how good your eyes are, its default set at 100, but you can go from 50 to 200. I just actually put out a new tutorial today for beginners for Fantasy Grounds about organizing your Fantasy Grounds game, Martha Stewart style. It will let out your inner Martha Stewart.
Oh
So-
my.
So check that out. I'm telling you,
So,
man, you'll
all
be
chicks go in
glad
the
that
dice
you
tower?
did. No, not all of them. Most of them. If I say just go ahead and roll it out in the open, just roll it in the dice tower. And the reason for
Did you
that
get
is,
Snoop to come in to do that with her?
yeah, they were cooking gangster muffins and stuff. She called them one time. I think gangster muffins. I don't know. But the reason why I do that is because of, say, Elias is going to go do a check on the door. So when he does his thieves rolls and everybody sees the one, everybody starts moving. When if there was a trap, it would have exploded and affected everybody. So if Elias, doesn't know if he's successful or not, and I just tell him he hears a click and then boom, that's why I do it. So because when people see low rolls, they scatter. Let's just face it, it happens. Ozo, thanks for
Do
the
I at least see
follow.
the dragons on the walls?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright, I'm
Yeah.
just going to
Oh,
get on
yeah.
my knees and start praying.
All right. I
Swick,
like I
thanks
said,
for
I hold
the
my
follow.
hand up
Thanks everybody
for
for
everybody
the
to
follow.
stop. And I put my finger up to my lips and I point in the direction of towards the east.
Center, you as well. And yeah, and just as he says that, and you step right here, Dag, this is what you see. You can see that there is a bugbear, a female bugbear, a rare female bugbear is on the eastern wall, propped up in the corner, sawing logs massively. See drool coming out of her mouth and whatnot. She's sleeping. Yeah, there is a sleeping bugbear. Now, if you can cast those, this is the way mechanics are in 5e for scrolls. If it's a spell that you can cast and is of your spell level, then you may cast it. If you are not proficient with it, if it is not a cat, then you'll have to do an arcane check, and it'll be a 10 plus the spell level. So if you're trying to cast a 3rd level fireball, it'll be a DC 13 to be successful. So Fargus, I'll check that out later. I don't know why it won't let you add a mug. I don't know. I'll have to ask them. It won't be till tomorrow, but I'll
Dave, I
check it
think
out.
we want to do a sneak attack, a ranged sneak attack on this hobgoblin. And
Yuki,
everybody kind
thanks
of
for
like
the
either
follow.
cast a ranged spell or a ranged weapon at it.
Sure.
Simultaneously, so.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you guys can definitely get the drop. More Savage Worlds terminology for you, or surprise on this bugbear. You're getting the drop. You guys can all go ahead and one at a time do your attacks. It's 85 degrees in my house right now.
Elias, why don't you start us?
I'm in Florida, Fargus. So, but you knew that anyway. So,
Me starting it?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think so
just-
too. Causes.
So an arranged attack. And I think you get
Oh,
sneak attack
I would
damage on that because of
die to have
blasting.
Fargus. Yep, you sure would.
And advantage, right?
Got to hit
Completely.
first. Yep, and you get advantage on the attack. So hit ADV lower left hand corner. Let's get this show going.
I'm
Cal,
going
thanks
to
for the
take
follow,
one of my
Forside.
daggers and throw it.
Okay, go ahead. Advantage. You strike the bugbear. Go ahead and roll damage
With sneak attack?
with sneak attack because you have advantage. Yeah. Let's see. Elias should be getting an extra d6 because he's level 3. So go ahead and roll another d6 and then I'll add that on there. Let me adjust Elias' sneak attack. I will adjust it to 2d6. Wow, he's been missing out with that for a long time there, J-Dog. Wow. He's got it now. Alright, so I'll add another 3 damage onto the bugbear. Next, go ahead and do your attack with advantage.
I'm gonna fire.
Alright.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Drogatch.
Next,
I'm gonna fire a chromatic orb.
Villa, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the follow, Villa. Welcome. Hit with a 19. Pen Kitty, thanks for the follow. Wow, so many follows tonight, guys. You guys are
Fire
awesome.
damage.
Thank you. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Naz, thank you. Very nice. Yeah, you basically kill the bugbear with your chromatic orb. Poor bugbear, she didn't even know what hit her.
Wow.
You caught the fur on fire.
It's okay. They're just mushrooms.
Give you a little XP. You got more for that single bugbear than you did for all of those other goblin encounters put together. It's awesome how that works, isn't it?
Is Garkin sleeping again?
Disfigured, thank you. Yep. So you guys see a massive fungal garden, and it goes down to the south until you see a door all the way down to the south. Fleisch, thank you. Nevada Joe, Nevada Joe, thank you. Door to the east. A wheelbarrow.
Door to the north, I saw also.
There's a bunch of simple farming implements on that table that you're in front of, Barlin. As you're kind of giving everything the cursory once over. Nothing really. What say you, Dag? I see you going over to the east.
Do I see anything where the bugbear was? Did it have anything on it? Did it get burned by my spell?
Yeah, you find a pouch on the bugbear, and it has a healing potion inside of it.
Sweet.
Anybody want the healing potion, or should I put it on the party sheet?
Party sheet.
Lemon, thank you. Thank you, Lemon. Appreciate it.
Hey, Elias, can I get you to come look at this door real fast and see if it's easy to open or if we can open it?
Jaywalk, thank you. Don't get caught jaywalking, by the way,
Check
bud. You'll get
the door
fined.
here. To the
I'm
east.
just figuring the bugbear was guarding something, so I'm thinking this is probably the safest way to go, or at least the more entertaining way to go.
J-Dog, you're down there at the table. Is there anything special that you wanted to do? I see that you're still down there.
I was just letting everybody else have the opportunity to go.
I'll go for it. Looks like they're ready to move on. What would you like to do? Zeus, what would you like to do as well after Barlin? Garkin's just going to kind of follow everybody around. I'm not feeling like myself tonight. Was there something that you wanted to do there, Barlin? Because those dragon murals, they kind of go around the entire room's parameter.
Let me give, instead of just a cursory, let me go around and get a little closer inspection on each one of them to see if there's anything special.
Joseph,
might be there or could be covered up since when they were originally written, because I know based on what I learned in the
Cyanetta, thank you.
And
thanks for the follows, everybody.
Where I was, that a lot of times when a new person or a new group of people come in and
thank you.
From behind another group, they'll paint over or cover up stuff. So I just want to see if there's anything that may. I just love secret hidden knowledge.
Sure. Give me an investigation. Oh man, it's starting to cool down a little bit more. It's now 82. Oh my gosh. You want to know what your roll is?
Like a 20?
29 with guidance.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, 29.
So I completely maxed it out then.
That's the max roll. I think that's the highest roll we've had in this game. So as you're looking around on the fire dragon mural, you see that there is a rune in one of the eyes of the mural on the wall. Give me an Arcana check. I'm going to reward him for that. Man baby, thanks for the follow. I'm going to reward him for that. For sure.
Watch me fumble that roll.
You almost did. You rolled a 2. I'm being honest. Cake Zang, thank you so much. So this eye, it is a rune of good luck. You know, if you touch it, you will have some kind of blessing bestowed upon you. And it was kind of hidden under the paint as well, so it looks like it was painted over at one time.
Now, is this rune something that I would need to leave there to get the benefit from, or can I, like, pull it out and use it in the future?
Nope. If you touch it, the rune will expend and give you a random blessing.
I will touch it.
All right. You will get +1 to all of your rolls for the rest of the night. Like you need them anyway, but that's what the blessing has bestowed upon you. +1 for the entire night. Attacks, skill checks, saving throws. Congratulations. I'm going to reward a 29. I mean, that's just an insane investigation check. You open up the door, Elias. Maybe you might be doing something else. Same thing in here, but as you open up the door, a slight mist starts to roll out into the chamber, and actually, you can feel a few degree temperature type, like a drop in temperature by a couple of degrees as you open up the door. And it's an octagonal shaped chamber. And there's and this is dimly lit as well, with all of this glowing fungus that is dotting the stone walls and the ceiling and stuff like that. Then there's some larger toadstools and mushrooms and small polyps and puffballs and some lichens and stuff in this room. But the one thing that's distinctive about this chamber, it smells like crap. Because you can see that there are some empty chamber pots in there, and it looks like the goblins have been taking all of their crap and their piss and throwing it in here to fertilize these larger mushrooms and lichens and stuff.
Seas, what's in there?
I tell to us, it's a little bit colder in there. There was some more fungus there, but also all the crap of the goblins. They put it in there to grow the fungus, I think. What a stench.